Okay, so the U.S. and China and our money. We're going to war. You guys should prepare to go to war. Our, I can't fucking, I can't believe we're still doing this dance. When I was a kid, our debt was like $4 trillion or whatever. I don't even remember anymore if it was billions or trillions. It doesn't really matter. At that time, I thought that our debt was unpayable. Do you get that? Our debt was unpayable in the 90s, according to me. And the reason that I thought that was basically that we would never suffer enough to actually pay it. The debt now is somewhere in the neighborhood of $32 trillion. To put this into perspective, all of the gold on the planet is probably only $3 or $4 trillion, maybe five. We owe more money than anyone could ever possibly pay back. And the thing is, the paper that everyone thinks is whatever, it's stupid. It's worthless. Gold and silver and fucking copper and aluminum and steel and shit like that in refined bar form, that's worth some money. Ammunition and food is worth money. Vehicles and equipment are worth money. The paper isn't real money. That's a fact you're going to have to get used to. The entire way of the entire way of life that you know is going to come to an end, basically. It's the only way out of this that I saw 20 years ago is what we're going to talk about. The reason that I've been pissed about us racking up this debt for 20 plus years is the same reason that my grandfather was mad about it, which is basically there's only one way to cancel out a debt that big. Sorry, my cat's licking his paw. There's only one way to cancel out a debt that big. It's with a gun. And that's the American plan. We're going to owe the world a whole bunch of money. And then we're going to shoot them, I guess. Like, war is the only way. Especially war against Russia and China. It's going to pay for all of our debt. This is kind of, in a nutshell, why I really can't believe that the Democrats are doing the things they're doing, because the Democrats basically don't see that the things that they are doing are going to necessitate us going to war. Because they think you can just keep spending all the money in the world forever because they've got daddy's fucking credit card and it keeps working. Eventually, what happens when the fucking card stops working? That's what we're living in right now. How are you going to continue to pay for the war when the card stops working? If you stop paying people, they go home for the most part. The only reason that they wouldn't is because we're fighting Russia and China on a scale that is World War II-ish in nature. They might keep working in military industrial factories just to fucking eat under those circumstances. So that's your plan? Your plan is, hey, we're going to cancel all the fucking money and we're going to get you involved in a world war. This is great. And like half of this is like, this is not the Democrats' evil plan, I don't think. I think they're just too fucking stupid to know better. They're too fucking stupid to know better than to spend money we don't have. They're too fucking stupid to know that the only things that the U.S. does to make money is fucking war. Or maybe they're not too stupid to know that. Like Nancy Pelosi is heavily invested in all of these fucking companies. Like, go look at her stock portfolio, and I guarantee you're going to see fucking Raytheon, Northrop Grumman, and Lockheed Martin, among others. These are the companies that stand to make a fortune if we go to fucking war. I can't even fathom that anyone is watching what's going on right now and not seeing that either we are being horribly misled by idiots or we are being horribly misled by traitors. China is starting its own gold-backed currency. That is going to war against America financially. Welcome to, they took the gloves off. Trump started a trade war with China. We should have. Okay? The Democrats are trying desperately to stay in China's good graces for reasons that I don't fully understand. It seems like they're fucking traitors. I get that China makes a lot of stuff, but you get that we used to make a lot of stuff and that a lot of our problems would be solved if we just made our own shit again. Meanwhile, you have fucking African nations. Oh, Jesus Christ. This is one that really pisses me off. Every nation in Africa mines fucking gold. Do you know what they do with that gold? They send it back to their masters and trade it for paper money, and they use the paper money to get the things that they want. France and China and Russia and England, others have done this for fucking ever. The Africans will never be able to govern themselves because they don't keep their own fucking gold, basically. If you have no way to actually buy and transact on an international scale, you're just dependent on all of your shit from fucking Russia or France or China. I say France because France in particular has like 14 nations that mine gold for them in Africa that they pay in a French colonial script still. A lot of people don't get that, like, France's colonial possessions in Africa never went away. They lost their colonies in the Southeast Asian front from World War II or whatever. But like in Africa, most of those African colonies were French the entire war. The Free French were mostly the French military from the fucking colonies mixed with colonists that they armed, mixed with Poles, mixed with Czechs, mixed with anyone that didn't fucking care for Nazis much, that wanted blood. Also, the Legion was there. Like, this is the other thing you gotta get, is in World War II, when France was invaded, her greatest defenders that came to her aid was the Legion. A lot of people don't know that. Basically, the American military armed and equipped whatever was left of the French military, whatever was left of the French Foreign Legion, and whoever the fuck that they could train to be with them, to be the Free French forces. And the French Foreign Legion is made up of pirates and miscreants from around the world. They fight for a second chance. It's admirable. And I think it's interesting that when so many signed up to be with Vichy France and the Nazis in World War II, basically the Legion was either outside of France or ended up fucking hanging on a rope. That really doesn't have much to do with what we're talking about, but like, this is the nature of the world. A lot of people don't get that France still has a colonial fucking empire that, the world should be jealous of, really. The way they handled their shit. They're slowly building. Maybe this is where, like, the EU is going to come to dominance, but, like, I doubt it. I think at this point, America is going to be sitting out of world events for the next probably 20 to 30 years if we don't win this next war. And if we're sitting out of world events for 20 or 30 years building strength again, Jesus Christ, we're going to have a lot to do. With $32 trillion in debt. China is making its own gold-backed currency. Russia is threatening nuclear war. You know, this is kind of in a nutshell why you should prepare. Russia and China and whatever forming their own gold-backed currency to trade with one another in the world doesn't seem like that big of a threat until you realize that basically gold has been used as currency since the Roman Empire. And our fiat bullshit is doomed to failure. It will fail. When it fails, oh man, we're going to see a collapse of the empire. Like, it's going to be very much, think back to all of the samurai movies and westerns and realize that all of those took place in a place in time where, like, an empire had fallen, basically, and there were just all these people around. You know? In Japan, it was the fall of the old shogunate system or whatever. Samurai were just kind of wandering loose. Civil War, when the South collapsed, all of her soldiers ended up pretty much just wandering the West as gunmen because they could. Not all of them. A bunch of people didn't, but like basically all of the people that were good with a gun ended up working with a gun. And I think we're going to see much the same here. Our American government's going to collapse. We're going to have some new thing rebuilt in its place, and God knows if that's going to be good. It's probably not going to be good. But as our government collapses and recollapses trying to start something that is fucking good, we're going to have this like time of fucking chaos and anarchy that is the Grapes of Wrath. Go watch The Grapes of Wrath and Last Man Standing and The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, and realize that the future that you're headed into, it doesn't look like those movies. It looks like those movies in the same way The Mandalorian looks like those movies. We're about to be gunslingers wandering a new American frontier in a world where I don't know who runs things. My guess would be no one runs things here. I think we will always run things in the North American continent. Unless China and Russia fucking start throwing nukes and shit. Like, shit could go real sideways. We've been living this whole existence where, like, basically we live in the fucking Roman Empire. And, man, Nancy Pelosi and Joe Biden and the rest of them, well, they've been playing the part of fucking emperor, and they like it. And they've liked it so much that they've run us into the fucking ground. See you guys later.